Well, hello once again. So what we're doing, we are straightening up the front wheel. That's what we're going to do. That was the next thing we're going to do, but we're just doing a little bit of detail here. Now I showed you this very briefly the other day, didn't I? You haven't looked at it properly. My headstock. Now then, the speedos go in here, isn't it? Isn't it? Everybody say yes, Pete, because it looks awesome. Yes, Pete, because it looks awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so the speedos go in there. So what I've done, I've sunk in my LEDs here. Now, whether or not this is a good idea, I'm not sure, but it's too late now because I've done it. So my my warning lights then are going to be on the headstock as well. Okay, down there. And to counterbalance them, because they're starting to look a bit, you know, the idea of the Speedo and that was that it was an add-on, and these obviously don't look like an add-on now because they're built in. So just to counterbalance that, I've put a bloody great big LED over here for a shift light. Okay, so that's what that one's going to be for. So that's my shift light. And then I've tried scribing it in, so you can see shift written into the thingy. Only misspelt with an F. I figured. What a shocking job that was. I don't even know why I bothered. So we've got to do something about that. And I think what I'm going to do, well, I'll show you what I'm going to do with that later on, but we have to get rid of it somehow or other. Okay, so that's that lot. That's what it's going to be. The master cylinder then, because when we get the wheel done, we can put the calipers on and start getting brake pipes and things like that. So the master cylinder here, the reservoir, I didn't like the way the bracket was coming across there for the reservoir. It was a bit shockingly bad. So what I'm going to do, what I am in the process of doing then, is on this pinch bolt, I'm going to use a thread, a stud, put this insert in there like so, and take my bracket off of this, and it will look much neater, it will look much nicer. Okay, so that's what we're doing at the minute. We're just making a tiny little bracket for this, a little bit of stainless, and where is it? As always, cut it out of cardboard first so we know what we're making. And it's just over here, so we're just going to grind it into the shape that we want it. Okay, okay. Now I can't video this because my phone holder, my camera holder is broken. I've ordered a new one from eBay, but it's not here yet. So I'll just click my fingers and it'll be done. Wait one moment. Right then, so now it's cut into the right shape, or close to the right shape. So now we've got to shape it so it actually fits. So bear with me just one more moment. Okay, so there we go, shaped into the right shape that it needs to be, hole drilled in it. So now, and what I've also done is taken the bottom, we'll repaint this. Actually, I might take this back to silver, I don't know. We'll see. But I've taken off the bottom lug of this. So I was unsure whether just to use this one, or someone gave me this one. But I decided to go with this. As long as I can mount this so it looks good, I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so let's just try mounting it on there and see if it looks any better than it did. Okay, so here we have it, finished bracket. Well, I'll say finished bracket, we need to get a nice stud in there, but that'll be the idea. But I think that looks a lot neater than the other one did. Definitely. Yeah, it looks good, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. That's going to stay, provided it doesn't get in the way of the rev counter, and I don't think it will. that is our new master cylinder bracket. Much neater. Okay, good stuff. Right, let's go and sort out this bloody stupid writing that someone's put on here. See, it wouldn't be so bad if they'd have done a good job. Numbskull. So, we're going to get rid of this ridiculous shift scribe in there. So I'm back at my dad's. So I've gone to the local key cutting place, and I've got the guy there to make me a dog tag with a couple of different sort of laser cut shifts on there. So as you can see, now this is only a bit of anodized aluminium, this, so I don't know what this will look like. If it looks a bit crap, we'll do the same thing, but we'll do it with brass instead. Okay, but we'll try it with this first of all. So what we're going to do, we're going to mill out an area here that this will sink into, so the same thickness of that. Mill out a thing, cut this down to size, and then see if we can sink it in. Okay, that's the plan, that's the idea. So I'm at my dad's. We've got a nice brand new 6mm mill bit there, and that's what we're going to do, hopefully. Okay, so we've got this set up on here, nice and flat, nice and straight. So just by turning the end here, we're going to be able to go down and give us a nice straight line and try and mill this out. And all we've got to do is go to the depth of...
That's your depth.
This. Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay, so we're going to mill down, get rid of that old scribe to the depth of that, which is, I reckon, just over a mil, but we'll find out.
You are. Can you give me?
Okay then, so we've just milled across central. We've gone down the right depth for our piece of material here with a bit of luck. 1.3mm it turned out to be, which should be about right. Okay, so now we've got to cut this down to shape, size. So I think that would probably just be a hacksaw and a file job. We could do it on that, couldn't we?
We could do it on that.
Should we do it on that?
Well, what you want to do is make a mark on it.
Hold on, bear with us, we'll think about this.
Draw your line across.
Okay, we're back home again now then. So what we did, we cut that in half, hacksaw and a file, and then very carefully with the file sized it down as left, and so it's just slightly too small. Now we had to go just slightly too small, didn't we, because I have to be able to take this in and out because I'm going to glue it in eventually. And there you are, that is much neater, isn't it? Look, I like that, I like that, that's good. So I'm pleased with that. Fantastic. So things are looking good then. So that's one thing that really peed me off, which has been sorted out. So we'll glue that in eventually. When we put all of the LEDs and that in, we'll do it all at the same time. So back to this wheel then. Let's have a go straight in this wheel out. I've put all of the discs on and the brakes on. The wheel's sort of bolted in place and all the brakes are bolted on it now. This bike has got a lot of front brake. Look at the size of them. Okay, and the problem is with this, so the wheel's fantastic. The discs, the centre of the hub, everything is great, but the real rim itself is sitting over that way a little bit. Okay, so what we've got to do, we've got to loosen off all of the spokes and just see if we can just drag the rim itself over this way, and I'll level it up with the I'll level it up with the forks. Right then, so the front wheel is now sorted and we managed to level it up. Oh, excuse me. we've got the same distance on one side as we do on the other, which is fantastic. It's running pretty straight, pretty true, which is good. And I think we did this, I'm sure we did this on, I know we did this on another video where I explained how you work this out. The spokes, some of the spokes go down to one side of the rim, some of the spokes go down to the other side of the rim. And so by tightening the spokes on this side, it will bring the rim over this way, and vice versa. Tightening the spokes on this side will bring the rim over that way. And so it's just a matter of getting them all at the right tightness, so the wheel is round as well, and you can pretty much put them wherever you want to put them. So this is done, which is fantastic. It's all good. I need to get a little bit of rim tape, which hopefully someone will sort it out for me. I've got a flat tire. Oh, it's got a puncher, so I've got to have a look at that, see if the tube's okay. But then this can go back together. So good, that's done. We did this, didn't we, as well? Good, we've done our shift like that. I like that a lot. I'm beginning to like this dashboard. I think it's going to be pretty good when it's done, but we will see. We can always change that to, I was thinking about a bit of brass, you see, rather than that. But I don't know, we'll just see. I think it looks pretty cool. Okay, we're back on it again, and we're going to mount the fairing now, or remount the fairing. So we've got new brackets. Remember I said I painted, before I got them painted, I modified them slightly because they were quite long before, weren't they? And I sort of flattened the ends off, and I've given them a nice flat plate to figure out how to fix onto it. So one of those either side, and we've got our same old fairing bracket that we made at the top end here as well. Okay, so we'll figure that out. I've also I'm going to add on, if I think of bits that we've got to do, I'll just quickly add them onto the bottom of our list here. So I've got to put another tag on the engine breather box on the other side of that, haven't I, and repaint it. And I've got to fix the chassis plate on as well. Okay, so we'll get on with those, but we're going to put this fairing on here first. We'll try and figure out how to mount this fairing on here first. Okay, bear with me. Okay, so we have our fairing back on, and it's not bolted on properly. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'll probably just get some little Allen key bolts or something just to bolt the thing on, and just drill another hole in it down there and put a bracket, and just bolt it through the bracket on the side. So it'll be nice and simple. No need to complicate it, is there? Okay, she's looking good actually. It's been such a long time that the bike's been in here without the fairing on it. You kind of forget how it all looks together. And yeah, it's good. It's good. I've kind of fallen back in love with it a little bit now, which is good. All good. So what we're doing next then is, or what I'm going to do, I want to do something with the front edge of this fairing. I love this fairing. Every angle this fairing looks absolutely, to me, it looks lovely. It's perfect. The only downside to this, or the bad angle, is here. I don't like this. I don't like the way that we can see this yoke, which I probably, in hindsight, I should have used a smaller yoke, shouldn't I? But obviously that was such a long way away now, and I'm not going to change it. So I'm going to have a think about, is there anything I can do with this? Okay, it's not an angle that you see very much now. Obviously you've all seen it now, but when the bike's naturally sat down, you don't really notice it too bad. But it's like if you're looking around the bike and all of the curves are good, everything looks fantastic, and then you stick your head down the front and you can see that it just doesn't look quite right to me. The mudguard didn't bring it together as much as I wanted it to, as we said before in another video, didn't we? So the next bit I'm going to do is just see if there's anything I can do to change the front edge of this. I might not be able to. It might have to stay the way that it is. But I won't be happy with it. That's the only problem. That's the downside here. So something's going to have to happen. I think I have an idea, which is what I'm going to try in the next video. So bear with me. The next video is probably going to be a while. There is still work going on. There's still lots of nuts and bolts and things like that I can be putting together on this thing. Yeah. So I shall speak to you again. Let's get a nice angle to finish. You could do with cutting back down off the jack and on the stand, couldn't it? I think I have to get that tyre fitted as soon as I can. Get a proper look at it. Okay. Good stuff. Speak to you in a while.